So start here. The topic is, of course, evangelism, catechumens, and converts. Part 1, looking back and looking around the identity of the Orthodox Church in Canada. Fathers, brothers in Christ, before we can talk about evangelism today, we must first understand where we have come from and where we are now. What was the church? The Orthodox Church in Canada was not founded primarily as a mission. The church was founded as a home away from home for immigrants. In the early 20th century, Greeks, Ukrainians, Serbians, Romanians, and other Orthodox peoples came to Canada seeking work and a new life. They built churches as ethnic parishes, places where their language, culture, and identity could be preserved in a foreign land. The parish was not just a church, it was a community hall, a cultural school, a family gathering place. This model worked for the first generation. The church was a lifeline for people in a strange land. It gave them a place where they belonged. However, that was then. What is the church now? We are now into the second and third generations, and these generations are no longer tied to their ethnic roots in the same way. A young Greek Canadian or Ukrainian Canadian may still enjoy the food, the dance, and the festivals, but when it comes to their spiritual identity, they are not looking for a cultural club. They are searching for Christ. They are searching for meaning, truth, belonging, and community. And here lies our challenge. If the parish is still only about being Greek or Serbian or Ukrainian, we risk losing these second and third generations. The language barrier. The numbers are clear. Wherever English is not embraced, cradle Orthodox numbers are dwindling. Greeks, Ukrainians, and Serbians, parents who want their children to understand Orthodoxy and remain Orthodox, are quietly leaving. Many are joining the Orthodox Church in America parishes simply because their children can understand the services. For example, in Calgary, almost every time I attend the local OCA parish to give a talk or am invited to co-serve, I meet multiple people from families that tell me that upon first discovering Orthodox Christianity, they came to my parish first, but due to the amount of Greek currently used, they found their way to the OCA. Worse yet, I had a faithful Greek Orthodox young woman who grew up in Edmonton. She and her 2 children came to my parish during my office hours so that she could show them the iconography. And upon speaking with her, she told me that her husband is Orthodox, but not Greek. He was a genuine convert and not a convert for the sake of marriage. And so she decided that in order for her children to learn the faith and understand what was happening during the services, they joined the OCA. When we examine the Greek Orthodox Archdiocese of America, we see that English has begun to be adopted with remarkable success. We know this from Greek Canadian families who have extended family in America. Parishioners visit their families in the American Archdiocese and attend services in English, where they see all the youth and faithful young adults who have grown up understanding the services since childhood. As an anecdote, I have a part-time parishioner who plays in the AHL, and he'll probably be in the NHL in no time. He is 25 years old and a very faithful Greek Orthodox young man who, when in Calgary, attends most of the services. When we first started talking, before I knew who he was or where he was from, he mentioned how surprised he was by how much Greek we use in Calgary. So I asked him where he was from, and he told me he was from Colorado, and they use almost all English there. Again, fathers, we want to be clear, this is not about rejecting heritage. It is about making Orthodoxy accessible, understandable, relevant, and alive for the next generation.
The rise of mixed marriages. Another factor we cannot ignore is that mixed marriages are at an all-time high. Most Orthodox young adults today marry outside their ethnicity. And when that happens, if our parishes cling too tightly to ethnic identity, the non-Orthodox spouse often feels unwelcome, confused, or excluded. The result? Many families drift away. An identity crisis. So the question is, do we have an identity crisis? Do we want to be Greek or Orthodox? Do we want to be cultural preservation societies or living, breathing churches of Jesus Christ? Is there a way to be both? To honor our heritage while also being a church that welcomes all? This is the question that defines our future.
This one's the results of our current approach. Let us be honest. What has our current approach produced? Our churches are often strong in cultural expression, but weak in evangelism. Our children know the dances, but not the scriptures or church fathers. We keep the festivals alive, but many of our young people are spiritually dying. In many cities, we see the slow decline of once thriving parishes. We cannot ignore this any longer. Fathers, the church in Canada was born as a refuge for immigrants, but we are no longer immigrants. We are Canadians, and our children and grandchildren will not stay in the church simply because it is Greek or Serbian. They will stay or leave based on whether they encounter Christ. If we want to hand down the faith, if we want our parishes to thrive, if we want orthodoxy to flourish in this land, then we must face this identity crisis. The church was never meant to be only an ethnic institution. It was meant to be the body of Christ, the ark of salvation for all people, in every nation, in every generation. If we forget that, we will lose the very people we are called to shepherd.
Part 2, Looking In, a call to rethink evangelism in Canada. When we gather to talk about spreading the gospel to the world, before we look around, we must take a hard and honest look inward, at ourselves, at our parishes, and at the way we are carrying out the Great Commission here in Canada. The truth is sobering. While the internet is flooded with Orthodox resources, podcasts, and online lectures, the practical lived knowledge of Orthodoxy among cradle Orthodox here in Canada is at an all-time low. The resources are abundant, but the fruit in our churches is scarce. Why? Because most of our parishes are not growing through mission or evangelism. They are sustained by one thing: Greek families having more babies. And that is not evangelism. That is survival. Some sober numbers don't lie. Let me share with you some of the research I gathered in my doctoral work about 5 years ago. Of all the converts surveyed across Canada in 2017, it was actually between 2017 and 2018, only 12% were single with no Orthodox partner. In other words, the vast majority of converts, 82%, were not coming to Orthodoxy because they encountered Christ and the church directly, but because they were engaged to or living with an Orthodox Christian. Evangelism through marriage, not through mission. When we look at catechesis, the results are even more troubling. 18% reported that they received no catechism at all. This is in the Greek Orthodox Archdiocese of Canada. 51% received only 1 to 6 months of minimal catechesis. When I say minimal, I mean, here's a book, that's it. No, not anything much more than that. And only 20% received between 6 to 12 months. This means we are baptizing and chrismating people into the church who have hardly been formed at all. What happens after conversion is interesting. So after, I also polled and surveyed people who had already converted, and this is what they said. So 60% would not invite anyone else to the church. 57% said they didn't understand the services. 62% rarely wore their cross. 82% rarely attended church. And a staggering 90% sorry guys. And a staggering 90% never went to confession. What does this mean? It means that we are bringing people into the church through the front doors, but they are quietly leaving through the back. In fact, the priests themselves, in the surveys I conducted, reported that the retention rate of their converts was only 49%. That means half of the people we baptize or chrismate end up leaving.
A disconnect between priests and reality. And here is something even more alarming. When priests were asked if they were doing a good job catechizing, 65% said yes, 33% weren't sure, and only 2% admitted they were not doing a good job. Fathers, the numbers do not match our self-perception. Half of our converts leave, yet almost all of us think we are doing well. Something is broken here, and unless we acknowledge it, we have no hope of fixing it.
If the data sounds impersonal, let me share with you some real voices of seekers who came to Prophet Elias from far away because they could not find help in their local parishes. First one said, I visited a couple of Greek Orthodox churches nearby. However, nobody wanted to speak to me. Everybody was very cold and dismissive. Next one. Another said, I never got a response to my email, text, or phone message to the church. A third said, I didn't understand anything that was said in the service because there was no English. And finally, I spoke to the priest in my local parish, and he told me that he doesn't have time to catechize adults. He gave me a book, told me to pay my membership, and said he would see me on the baptism date. Fathers, these are not the voices of strangers. These are the voices of men and women who want Christ, and they are knocking at the door of the church. And yet in many cases, we are turning them away by our silence, our inattention, our busyness, and our clinging to old patterns.
So where do we go from here? We need to face a hard truth. The way we are spreading or not spreading the gospel in Canada is not working. We cannot simply rely on Greek families to have more children. We cannot be satisfied with catechism that lasts only a few months or none at all. We cannot accept a 50% retention rate as normal. The world is changing around us. People are spiritually hungry. They are searching. They are walking into our parishes with questions, with hope, with pain. And too often what they find is a closed door, a foreign language, or a priest who says he doesn't have time. Brothers, we are called to be shepherds, to know our sheep, to go after the one who is lost, to form disciples of Christ, not just members of a cultural association.
So part 3 is mission in action, a look at current catechumen ministry at Prophet Elias. So we set up the problem, and now we want to give some practical, at least some practical solutions as far as what we've been doing at Prophet Elias that seems to be working. If you can take something away from it and use in your parish, that's great. If not, that's fine as well. So I want to share with you, next one, what we're doing in regards to catechism, the approach that we have taken, the results that have manifested themselves. So number one is a clear vision if you want to do evangelism. Number one, the priest must have a clear vision of evangelism for his parish. It starts from him. The priest must convey this vision to all major program directors of the parish, the board, the philoptos, the youth, and any other major organization. They all have to know what the priest's vision is for evangelism. It can't just be him doing it on his own. At Prophet Elias, the priest must also have a plan for evangelism, different events and materials that can be employed in this. At Prophet Elias, we have these events such as our biannual Come and See Night at Hukeive, which is held once in the fall and once in the spring. It is essentially an open house for inquirers, so non-Orthodox people, where we provide a tour of the church for non-Orthodox, followed by a coffee fellowship and a Q&A, question and answer panel, with where non-Orthodox visitors can come up to a microphone that we set up and ask a panel different questions, and any questions they want to know about Orthodoxy. We can go through some of these. This is just some of the advertising that we do. I don't know if His Eminence wants to take a look as well. Go to the next one, Father. These are all from one of the open houses, and all these people are non-Orthodox who come in and they're interested. Again, this is just another picture from different. This is a panel that we have. The two others here are converts, but long-time converts who are actually also theologians. Sometimes they help me out and we field questions. The one on the left is Bobby. He is a former atheist. He was a Sikh originally background. Sean in the middle is former Jewish, and he's also an Orthodox theologian who's finished Orthodox theology at Trinity College. Okay. So the second thing, beyond having a clear mission, we have to have an intentional use of language. This is a little bit of a touchy issue, I know, for some of us. The priest must assess the actual linguistic needs of his parish, not his personal preferences. I'll say that one more time. The actual needs of our parish linguistically, and not what we prefer to do the service in, because I think this is a big problem. Priests should be willing to adjust language to meet the daily needs of his congregation. Example, weekday liturgies might require more Greek due to older people attending, while Sundays need more English due to younger families in attendance. Priest should adjust approach even if he sees the congregation demographic shifting during the service. Example, more Anglophones entering the church later in the service. So if I'm starting, let's say, Orthros, and there's 5 or 6 Yagades, I'm doing Greek, right? But if I start seeing a lot of younger people coming in, I shift in real time to more English to be able to communicate better. Okay, next one. Okay, so we talked about vision. We talked about using language intentionally. Number C, the third thing is, who is the first point of contact in the parish? So there needs to be a standard protocol and point of contact for all inquirers who contact the church who are not Orthodox. At Prophet Elias, the priest I'm the point of contact. His number and email readily available on church website and voicemail system, whatever system you guys have. Note is extremely important, I say it in capitals, that the priest / point of contact, if it's somebody else, respond to all inquirers within the fastest time possible, preferably within 24 hours. It's really, really important. If you leave people, they lose interest. The priest can have a prearranged script / response available to save time and streamline the process. You can go to the next, we can wait, Father, sorry. At Prophet Elias, for example, we have a preset email or text response accompanied by an intro video about becoming a catechumen. After the initial contact, the priest or point of contact arranges a time to meet with the inquirer. This can happen either in person, over the phone, or by video call, Zoom or FaceTime, to make it more time efficient. I'm going to show you one more slide. So this is just a screenshot of a note that I have on my phone. I've just written it out. It's like a preset message. And the reason why I have this is I can just cut and paste, because we're busy. All of us are super busy. So I have a preset kind of a message that I can send out to people that kind of welcomes them, either by text or email, just an example. And it has a link to a video that I've done on my YouTube channel, for the TED Talks, that is like an actual intro, what to expect when you become a catechumen. You go to the next slide, Father. Sorry about the weird picture face, but like the video, it's like it's an interactive video, and it tells you exactly what the catechism process is. You can go next. So once we have that in place, we understand what the first point of contact is. Then we have, what do we do next, right? So inquirers and mentors, which is D. After the initial encounter, the inquirer is invited to visit the church for the first time. This initial encounter is pivotal in the inquirer's journey, as it sets the tone for their catechism experience. When somebody has an unpleasant experience visiting a community, the chances that they will return are slim to none. We often have one chance to make a good impression. In order to facilitate a positive experience, at Prophet Elias, we have created a volunteer group called Orthodox Mentors. This group consists of seasoned and knowledgeable Orthodox Christians, both cradle and converts, who are willing to act as guides for those who are visiting our community for the first time. Their mission is, 1, they greet the inquirer at the doors of the church in the morning. So if somebody's coming, I say, okay, show up right before 10 a.m. when we start liturgy, maybe at 9:45, 9:50. This person, Otave, is going to be waiting for you by the doors, and they're going to greet you. Okay, so they're waiting there for them. Number 2 is they sit with them during the service, and they help explain the liturgy, what's going on, because these people have never been to an Orthodox church before. C, they introduce them to other catechumens and other church members, and after the liturgy. So during coffee hour, they help them feel welcome and meet other people. And D, they exchange contact information and keep in touch with the inquirer over the next few weeks, encouraging them to come back and visit. So I tell them, exchange text or email, and then they'll text them like on Friday the next week. Hey, this is like Fodori. We sat together, whatever. You coming this Sunday? Looking forward to seeing you again. So they have a contact that is more than just the priest who's very, very busy. You have another person as well. Next slide. You went? Okay, sorry. So we try to comprise our mentors group of different parishioners from different and diverse backgrounds. This is so we can draw on a wide variety of backgrounds and match them up with specific individuals who are inquiring. For example, if an inquirer is from a Muslim background, I will partner them with an Orthodox convert who came from a Muslim background as well. So they have a common understanding, right? Their common history and understanding will help facilitate a better integration. We do the same for ex-Catholics, ex-Buddhists, etc., etc. So I try to have in my mentors group, as much as I can, different people from those backgrounds so they can understand each other, right? So I was a Muslim too, welcome. I know the questions you're going to ask. Oh, you're a Buddhist? I was a Buddhist too before. I know the questions you're going to ask, right? So there's a commonality there, or even a cultural. If like they're Indian, I have an Indian mentor. If if it's like a European, and so on and so on. So the mentors program is invaluable as it creates a secondary point of contact beyond already overworked priests and allows for the process of integration to start early. At Prophet Elias, we have a dedicated WhatsApp group for our mentors, where we are always adding to the group and providing information and coaching for them along the way. So I have the group. I give them Orthodox resources. I educate them like internally. And when somebody's coming, I just send to the group, hey, I have this person coming. They're a Catholic, for example. Anybody can take them for the Sunday. They say, yes, Father, and we're good. So next. Okay, so next thing, a robust catechetical catechism material, right? So we have to have material. It can't just a book doesn't work anymore, in my opinion. As is outlined in the initial message sent out to the inquirers, which I showed before, the process of catechism at Prophet Elias is twofold: the theoretical and the practical. So the theoretical refers to the theological material that is sent out by the priest/catechist who is overseeing the individual's catechism. At Prophet Elias, we have deployed our own catechism material, which consists of online videos and podcasts that are sent out, grouped into different units via email. There are 9 units in total. Right, you can see this is what I do. And I've shared this with a few brother priests who have asked in the past. And so you can see here, like we do Intro to Orthodoxy, a little bit of history, some worship and life, the sacrament, scripture, spirituality, monasticism, modern issues, practical guides, and then one final video at the end, right before they're getting baptized. This is just a little bit of my channel, but there's a lot of material that I make as well, of videos, practical videos. But also I don't just use my videos, I actually use more other priests and other things that I've curated over the years. So these units are sent out via email to the catechumen, who will watch and listen to them on their own time and at their own pace. And when they have completed the material, they're expected to email me back, or the catechist, and either ask questions from the material, or if there are no questions, they request for the next unit to be sent. So it's at their own pace. Everybody's at a different level, but I manage that. They send it to me. The priest and catechist maintains a spreadsheet, like I keep a list of all the current catechumens and where they are in the process. Some catechumens progress through the material quickly, and others take a long time depending on personal temperament and life and family situations. It is important to give the catechumen time to work through the material at their own pace, so they have time to explore Orthodoxy thoroughly, not feeling rushed or pressured to continue or commit. On the average, most catechumens complete the material in between 6 months to a year. It is not recommended to baptize people in less than 6 months of catechism, as it has been our experience, personally, that this is the minimum amount of time required to properly integrate into the worshiping community. Next one, high attendance. So in addition to the theoretical, we have high attendance expectations, at least in our church. So, we expect the catechumens to attend church regularly. The standard should be every Sunday, barring a few exceptions, not once a month or whenever you can, every Sunday. In addition to this, we also offer in-person discussion groups twice a month, led by lay catechists, that explore the Orthodox ethos as it applies to everyday life. Both church attendance and group discussions make up the practical part of the catechism. It should be noted that the practical part of the catechism is as important as the theoretical. A lot of times this is overlooked in a lot of churches. It should not be overlooked, as the Orthodox faith is much more experiential than it is intellectual. It is our policy at Prophet Elias not to baptize any catechumen who does not attend church on a regular basis, even if they have completed all the theoretical catechism elements. So they can go through all the information really fast, but they haven't come to church. You gotta wait. Start coming to church first. If the catechumen reaches a stage where they have completed both the theoretical and the practical parts of catechism, then there is a discussion with the parish priest about how they feel about their commitment to orthodoxy. And if they are convicted in their faith and wish to continue, then the process of joining the next available baptism cohort can proceed. At Prophet Elias, we discourage individual adult baptisms, but rather group all the catechumens into a larger group of baptismal liturgies that happen 3 times a year. 1, I do on Holy Saturday morning. 2, Christmas Eve morning. And 3, the eve of the Dormition of the Theotokos. Whoever has completed their catechism process will begin to prepare for the day of baptism/chrismation by doing a walkthrough of the baptism service with a priest, and also going through what is required, such as baptismal items, godparents, membership, etc., the practical stuff. So all this stuff, I know it seems like a lot. There's a little bit more. So after they're baptized, a lot of times we just let them go, and they fall off the wagon or they disappear. So another part that we've realized is very important is post-baptismal integration. So how do these people stay involved after they're baptized? So often it's overlooked, as I said, Statistically, many converts face a spiritual low after converting to the Orthodox faith. These struggles usually manifest themselves during the first year of being Orthodox. They stem from both psychological factors and spiritual warfare. Therefore, it is imperative not to forget about those who have already been baptized, but to follow up with maintaining connections and their continued integration to the community. At Prophet Elias, we have volunteers who are tasked with creating post-baptismal events that help get the newly converted individuals involved in the community. One of these is our biannual visit to the monastery of St. Cosmas that is led by the priest, by myself. This is a field trip, I guess you could say, for those newly baptized who have never visited an Orthodox monastery. We plan on one of these trips in the fall and one in the spring, and they have a chance to learn more about the monastic tradition and also to bond with one another. Okay, so the proof is in the pudding. While putting forth all these suggestions may seem optimistic, in the end, the numbers do not lie. In the last 3 years, at least since I've been at Fr.TEDTalks, and we've implemented this program, we have seen an exponential growth in the catechumens and converts. As you can see in the chart below, which is going to come up next, comparing the numbers from 2023 to 2025, conversions of Prophet Elias grew from 8 conversions in 2023 to an estimated, by the end of this year, 40 conversions by the end of 2025. This marks a 400% growth in just 3 years. In addition to this, we also have another 32 current catechumens who are studying and preparing themselves for baptism. Oh, okay. It's okay. Okay, sorry. It's okay. So this is just before a conclusion, and maybe Your Eminence, you might want to turn around because there's a little bit of a slideshow here. You might want to, if you can. This is just a really quick 1 minute, 1.5 minute. We thought it'd be kind of cool so you guys can see some of the baptisms that we've been doing for the last 1.5 years. So this is like 2 Paschas on 2 Holy Saturdays and 1 Christmas. And his grace came to the last Pascha as well. So just very quick. You guys can see kind of like the setup that we have. He's a seminarian now.
So in conclusion, if we want Orthodoxy to flourish in Canada, not merely survive, we need to change the way we spread the gospel. We need intentional pastoral catechism. We need welcoming communities. We need to prioritize English alongside Greek. We need to see converts not as burdens, but as the very mission field that Christ has placed before us. The Great Commission was not given only to the apostles 2,000 years ago. It was given to us today, here in Canada. The question is, will we rise to the challenge, or will we watch as the faith quietly fades in the land where God has planted us? Fathers, the choice is ours.